Alrighty. Okay, this is episode 59. And episode 59, we're going to be talking about what to say when you do not know what to say. I think we all have been in that situation before, especially for those of us who have been doing a live broadcast. Sometimes we just kind of run out of things to say, and it's pretty common for many of us to have that roadblock, if you like. And and my response to that question itself, basically, it's the following: what to say when you do not know what to say? Well, when you do not know what to say, the main thing to actually do is to help other people out. Now, what do I mean by that? Let's say when you do not know what to say and you start rambling on about certain things, and your audience are going to be like, okay, how does that relate to me? And over time, what's going to happen is they are going to see that you were just talking about whatever you want to talk about, which is fine for some people. And some people have essentially done that time and again. But I'm a firm believer that if you want a great following, oh, by the way, the reason why I'm in this room, although my setup is complete, is because today the studio has been overtaken by the kids, and so as a result of that, I'm stuck in this room right now because the kids have kind of taken over the main studio itself, and so that's why I'm here. Well, you know what to do when the kids' friends comes over, right? And so, yeah, and so back to our topic itself: what to say when you do not know what to say. So, a very simple way of looking at it is that I would only share about my life, right? How interesting my life is, or what is it that I've done. Now, interesting or not, that is another issue altogether. That is another thing altogether. But the point is the following. The point is that we are here, of course, to a certain extent to entertain, but at least for me, my main purpose, my main goal is to be able to provide value. And what do I mean by provide value? Provide value basically means that when you invest time watching this live show, you should get something out of it. And of course, if the topic that I'm talking about, it's not related to you and it's not something that you are interested in, then well and good, then probably you are not the people that I'm targeting. You're not the people that I want to speak to. You're not the group, you do not belong to the group of people that I want to reach out to. But for the rest of you who essentially find whatever I'm talking about useful, you are my audience, you are my community, you are my my tribe, the people that I want to connect with, the people that I want to have a relationship with, and the people that I want to be able to serve. And so when it comes to wanting to serve, essentially there is only one thing in my mind. And that one thing in my mind, essentially, it's the following, right? At the end of the day, when you invest time in listening to what I have to say, you have to get something out of it. You have to get something out of it. And what is that one thing that you can get out of it? Essentially, it's to be able to get some value. Now, what does value means? Now, value could mean different things to different people. That being said, my firm belief is that the value that I provide, it's the value that help you reach your goal. And so this show, the whole premise behind this show, it's about one person, 1 million, all things digital, right? So The goal is to build a one-person business with a $1 million revenue annually by only selling digital products and services, right? Or I should say only selling digital products, because you can't sell service. Because the main thing is that you this whole thing would only work if we are able to not sell time for money, right? So it's not about me being there and doing coaching online. No, it's not that kind of stuff, but it's truly focusing on just selling digital products, and that digital product itself, it's going to accumulate that $1 million revenue. So the whole idea behind this is the premise of the show. Now, of course, if this is something you are attracted to, which means you have a goal to build a one-person business with a $1 million annual revenue, and you want to do it in a digital way, then obviously this show it's for you, because what I am sharing in this show, it's about the things that I've done, and along the way I would also share my strategy, my workflow, my entire system, the thing that I use to generate interest, generate traffic, and generate potential buyers. I would also share income and as well as expenses. So you get a clear idea in terms of how you can follow along. And this is real time. I mean, this is not something that I've done 6 years ago and I'm sharing it now. This is real time in this period itself. So the goal that I set for myself was to do this and to be able to build this business, providing all things digital, and to earn a $1 million revenue annually. So of course, if that's something that you want to follow along, that's something that you think it's a good dream state for you, because it allows you location freedom. In other words, you can operate from anywhere as long as you get an internet access. You have intellectual freedom because you're able to take whatever you are passionate about, whatever you're proficient in, and turn it into a business. You have also financial freedom because arguably I would think $1 million in terms of revenue after paying off expenses, suppliers, and all that, if you manage it well, that amount itself should be enough for you to sustain a specific lifestyle. And then, of course, time freedom, because you're not selling time for money. And that's how you are able to get that freedom itself. And so, if this is something that you want to follow along, especially in today's climate, then this is the show for you. And if you are going on that path and you want to learn how to do this thing, then obviously, it makes sense. And so, even if I run out of things to say, what is the one thing that I will talk about? Is this. I would go into a few places. Number one, I'll go into social media. I would ask, I would ask, what is it that people want to know, right? I would ask my audience. I would ask the people that are part of my community, and I'll ask them, what is it that you want to know? I would also reach out to my mailing list and ask these people, what is it that you want to know? Is there anything that I can help you with? And for those of you who do not have an audience, you do not have a mailing list, uh, you are starting from scratch. Where do you go? Well, you can go to social media and start searching, or you can go to Quora and start asking or looking at questions that people ask pertaining to this particular topic itself. So, what will you do? What will I do? What I will do essentially is I will look at all these questions that people have, and that I would answer them on the show. because these are arguably the burning question that you have if you're working towards this path of 1 person, 1 million, all things digital. And if you are going to that, then obviously you might have some questions for me, like how should I start? Where should I begin? What system must I have? Which is a niche that I should focus in? And on and on and on. You might have lots of questions with regards to that. And so if I'm able to help solve some of those questions or answer some of those questions, then that will be absolutely awesome, because what I truly would like to know is that what are some of the questions that you might have, right? Because once I know those questions and I'm able to to answer those questions itself, that is where you and I get both a win, because you get to learn something from this process of investing your time listening to me, and I get the opportunity to be able to serve you and to be able to help you in some way, shape, and form. And so, as a result of that, I would I would even dare say that I would never run out of things to say, because the moment I run out of things to say, it's when I am absolutely 100% focused on myself. And when I focus on myself, essentially what I'm saying is that I'm only looking at me and I'm saying, okay, this is what I did today, and so I want to talk to you about it. This is what I did today, so I want to share with you about it. Look at how awesome my life is, and so if you're coming from that point of view, obviously at some point in time you're going to run out of things to say, because you can only do so much. I mean, you can't be going live and on a daily basis and say that, well, today I woke up at 8 o'clock, I went for a run, and after that I had my lunch. I mean, how valuable is that going to be, right? So if you ever think about how you want to solve the problems, or how you want to be able to serve the people that you want to reach, just think about what are the problems that they have and how you might be able to help them solve the problem. By the way, I just want to show you a little bit of what's in this room here. As you can see, this is the piano here, right? And that red thing that you see there, this is the sail used by my son for his Optimus. And of course, that is his Lego, and actually there are more. Let me just show the folks on YouTube, right? Check this out, right? And folks on Facebook, check this out. Yeah, it's a mess, I know. Yeah, but anyway, that's how the reality of things is, right? And so, this is like a playroom for them, um, and this is where they come in here, and you know most times they mess up the whole place itself. So you see what I mean? I mean, if I am just sharing things about what I am, what I do, and all that stuff, then obviously it's going to be not very exciting for you. Now, so there are a few questions that I like to answer at this point in time. Number one is, first thing first, how do I live stream? Now, there are a few ways of doing live streaming, right? Number one is you can do it natively. What I mean by that is that, for example, you go into YouTube, you go into Facebook, you go into Twitter, you go into Instagram, and you can stream live using the app itself, right? So that's something that you can do. So that's native, and which means you go directly to the platform and you start streaming live. Now, what that happens is that you are not going through a third party, you're just going direct. Now, all the social media platforms that, or at least that I know, all the social media platforms that provide or have this live feature allows you to broadcast live natively. The only one that doesn't allow you to broadcast live natively, it's LinkedIn. So how LinkedIn Live works is as follows. LinkedIn Live, you first have to be approved to broadcast live on LinkedIn, and there is an application process. I like to tell people that it is probably more difficult to apply for the live broadcast than applying for a job, because I can tell you there's so many people who have done it, and they have applied for it so many times before they eventually got it. So for LinkedIn Live, essentially you have to apply. Once you're approved, you have to use a third party software. So for example, you can use things like StreamYard, which was what I was using a couple of weeks ago. You can use Restream, for example. That's another one, right? You can also use this app called Switcher Studio, which is iOS only. So there are third-party apps that you have to use, or you have to use third-party apps in order to stream live on LinkedIn. Now, the other platforms, you can of course use a third-party software to stream live to. So, for example, if you use Restream, for example, you could simulcast to more than one social media platform. You can do Facebook, you can do YouTube, you can do LinkedIn. I believe you can do Periscope as well. Yeah. So you could do all this at the same time, and you can simulcast to all these different platforms. Um, then there are also tools like, I think it's called live stream, that allows you to record a video and then stream that pre-recorded video as a live video. So it's a little bit like Premiere. It's a little bit like where you record it and then you stream live. And so the only thing to notice, to take note of that, why you would want to do that, it's because sometimes we may run into network issues. Sometimes we may run into technicality issues, that if we are live streaming, the only way is to stop the live stream and then to rectify and then start again, right? And so the recorded live video streaming kind of takes care of those technicalities. And so when you talk about live stream, of course, you can live stream using like your cell phone, which I'm doing now on Facebook. You can live stream using a webcam, like what I'm doing now on YouTube. And of course, these days you could use cameras, right? Your DSLR cameras to live stream. So like, a couple of weeks back, what I've been doing was I have been using my DSLR to do my live stream. And what's good about the DSLR is that it gives you that shallow depth of field, that blurry effect in the background, so that you don't see all this mess. Plus, it's nice, right? And the clarity and the resolution of it is so good that you will be amazed by it. Now, of course, you could. So there are some cameras that allows you to just plug into your computer, and it will recognize it as a webcam. So, like for example, the Canon has introduced this Canon webcam beta utility that allows you to download, and you can just plug it in and it will recognize your Canon camera as a webcam. Not every camera manufacturer had that feature, and so some you will need what they call a capture card. And so a capture card is something that kind of converts the output of that, or rather the output of that, of your camera into an input that can be read by the computer as a webcam, right? So in other words, in order to it's not as easy as just plug and play. You actually need to get a capture card to do that. And so that's something that I've been playing with, and that's something that I've been using for quite some time. If you like more information about that, I'll be more than happy to share with you. If not, I'm gonna bounce because I'm feeling exhausted this today. Yeah. And but once again, it's nice to have you here with me. For those of you who have stayed throughout, thank you so much for being here. And I definitely want to say a big thank you to you because without you being here, uh, I wouldn't be here as well. All right. So with that, thank you guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.